episode of Touching Tornadoes. This is the daily bipolar mood journal. Today is November 22nd, 23rd, 2025. I should have wrote that down because I'm not quite sure. It's Sunday. I know that. And I know I haven't missed a day yet. So thank you guys for being here. I have bipolar 1 disorder with psychotic features, and I do my best to come on here every day and talk about how I'm feeling for the day. And it's a way to check in with myself and my mood and my energy. And yeah, it's also a way for other people with bipolar to at least watch how I do that, and maybe it can help them or you if you have it. So I got a bunch of notes for today that we can go over, but first we'll do our gratitude check-in, which I stopped for some reason putting that on here. Grateful for the wife and kids, grateful for up until literally in the past 20 minutes. It's been a beautiful day out, and that's why I decided to do it outside. But 20 minutes or so, it looks like the rain is possibly coming, maybe some colder weather. You know, I don't know if I can feel it in my bones, something changing, but we'll see. Overall mood, emotional notes, energy level. Let's see. Energy level is going to be, I'll give myself a 5 out of 10 today. I went on my jog, which is something I try to do to help my mental health, is jog around town, but didn't have the energy to jog. I've been fighting that. I don't know if it's medication. I take a nightly medication that's a antipsychotic and a mood stabilizer, but it seems to knock me out pretty hard. And so since I've been taking it, running every day or jogging even has been hard. And I don't know if it's because you get so much on your mind, you know, all the stuff that I still have to resolve from my last manic episode. All that stuff is still kind of out there and overwhelming, and I don't know what, even though I feel like I'm on the right track with it, I don't know what to do with it yet. So I'm in the waiting place of some stuff, and it's because of that I sometimes I think I just get too focused on thinking too much. I'm just thinking too much. I can't exercise. So I still had the energy. I went on a long walk. I did one of my favorite things to do. This is a little tip for you, is get somebody that likes talking to you, which is possibly hard. I use my brother, and he'll just kind of describe for me what he ate over the past day and night, and that's pretty entertaining to me. So I called him and found out what he's been eating, how he's doing. Checking in on him helps me check in on myself, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I give myself a 5 out of 10 energy wise. Overall mood, I would say I'm a 5 out of 10, which is where I want to be. You don't want to get too hyped up, you know. And I feel like I've been becoming more and more baseline, more and more where I need to be. But my overall mood, the crappy thing is I do have the part where I don't have any interests right now. remember the last time I went manic and I fell into a depression. It was like my first bipolar depression. It was like my first real, deep depression where I understand what people are talking about, where you just go into the depths of it. And anyways, um, nothing was fun anymore. The things that I used to find entertaining or fun stopped being so. And so I have noticed that with the current mood I'm in, even though I feel like I'm in an okay mood, right down the middle, I don't have the desire for like, oh, I hope I don't miss the next episode of The Office or whatever the hell's popular right now, or I don't, whatever the trending show on Netflix is or activity is. None of that stuff is inspiring or fun to me right now. So that could be depression. But I'm not like overly concerned about it because I've been able to, I guess, occupy my time a lot more productively than I did the last time. But I'm just kind of noticing that I need to be aware of that. I need to be aware that just not having an interest in almost anything. But, I used to be, Oklahoma football was every Saturday kind of thing, and I check in, and I'm still watching, checking in on the score to see what happened to the game. That's about as deep as I'll go. And I haven't even done it for every game. And it used to be I wouldn't miss a play of any game they had. I'd try to watch every game. So that's one thing. Running, like I said, is harder, and I don't find joy. So maybe I am a little bit on the edge of a depressive episode there. It's possible. But I'm working towards being stable. I'm working towards being right there in the middle. Let's see. The physical side effects. Common physical side effects to consider. Fatigue or heaviness in the body. Check. Tremors or shakiness. Not so much. No tremors. Well, actually, I guess I don't know what the difference is between tremors and shakiness, but restlessness or pacing, if I'll get kind of like that if I'm up and about. Muscle tension, stomach issues or nausea, no. Weight changes or appetite spikes, yeah. Headaches, no. Blurry vision, sometimes. Feeling sedated or slowed down, correct. Trouble focusing and mental fog, yeah. Sleepiness or insomnia, sleepiness, yeah. And sexual side effects. Just the lack of, again, some desire there, that which is, you just get on the wrong side of what you used to like. You get on the opposite. It's like maybe it makes it that much better when you do feel good, to have went through a period of time where nothing that you used to like seems appealing. So when it finally switches in your brain, and hopefully it doesn't switch like you back into mania, that's what I'm hoping. I don't want to get into this rhythm or this existence where I get an episode of depression and then I get an episode of mania and they just continue to go forever. I'd like to quell both of those, or quell both of those episodes and not get it ever that far up or that far down. don't know these birds you're talking about. Some of these stick around, you know. I always thought they'd fly home for winter. I guess maybe they are. Um, so the reason I brought up the physical side effects is last night, well, last night I went to my wife's concert. She had a concert she was performing, and afterwards it was already 8:30, which is about the time that I've been trying to go to sleep every night, and it was already that time. And my in-laws invited us to go have supper at a local Mexican restaurant that was like 10 minutes away. So you don't want to. I knew it was gonna mess with my sleep schedule. I knew it was gonna mess with my. But you know, it was kind of like a celebration for my wife's concert, and they're offering, and you feel bad saying no. So we went, and no, I was more afraid I didn't want to overeat and have like a second dinner at 9 p.m. right before I'm going to sleep. And as much as I enjoy Mexican cuisine, sleeping on it can be rough, you know. If you just, there's nothing better than a big old plate of fajitas, but if you're going to bed at the moment you walk in the door at 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night, and you just have a freaking diaphragm full of fajitas, man, that's something that's going to get anybody into a bad mood when they wake up. So we kept it light, just some heavy cheeses. Melted cheese will always be fine. But as I was sitting there at the table, I noticed that there's this spot on kind of like my upper part of my ankle on the right leg, that when I would touch it onto the chair, like kind of reach back and touch my leg to the chair, it sent this pain through my foot. I can almost do it now. And then it left a tingly feeling all along the right side of my foot. I don't know what that's about. It's like a pinched nerve going on. So I've been kind of wondering what that is all day, because my whole right side of my foot's like numb all day long. It's odd. I don't know if that's medication related, bipolar related. You gotta be careful about just attributing everything about you to the disease. You know, some of it is just you. So medication, was I taking it on time? Did I notice any effects shortly after? Yeah, I go to bed like immediately. Side effects are they worse at a specific time of day? I've never tried to take that medication in the morning. I think drowsiness is a pretty big side effect of it, so I'm afraid to do that. I could take it later at night to maybe stay up later. One of the bigger things they talk about when managing bipolar disorder is the part where keeping a consistent schedule, not just with your meds, but your sleep. You know, go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, no matter what. That's one thing. I'm the journal is step one. Getting my circadian rhythm down, which probably should have been step one. But that's, for me, I gotta get that. That's gonna be step two. And that goes into the next topic, which is sleep. So I didn't sleep very well. Um, it's one of those nights where I kept all my clothes on and then fell right asleep after I took my medicine. So I'm gonna give it like a 4. And I have been having just wild dreams, just real vivid um, dreams, not necessarily nightmares, but the kind of dreams that you wake up and you forget it was a dream. So, stressors and challenges. Yesterday's stressor would probably be, staying up too late, knowing that that was going to affect my sleep, knowing that that would be yesterday's stressor and challenge. We're going through administrative work, is what I'll call it, book work. And I have a meeting with the lawyer tomorrow, and I'm kind of stressing about that. But I think they affect my physical symptoms and my mood because I can't stop thinking about them. I'd like to put those worries away and just focus on the now, like everybody wants to tell you to do, but it's tough. Positives and wins for today. Positives is I did a little bit of yard work. Sometimes I wonder, it's what I do for a living, and then everybody around me in my neighborhood it's all they care about on their own yard, and it's the last thing that I care about. Is I've just done it my whole life and so sick of it, so it's just so it's a win to get out and try to mulch up the leaves so you don't look like the embarrassment of the neighborhood. But even as I'm doing it, I know that all my neighbors and stuff are just like, why is he doing it that way? I see them spend hours and hours in their yards, and I'm like, guys, this is all I've ever done and is landscape work. I don't need to do this on my own yard, and I certainly don't need you judging me. What's up, Jack? So, anyways, it was a win for today, but safety check. Intrusive thoughts. Did I have any intrusive thoughts today? Nothing that I couldn't push out. Not too bad. Intensity of them, so 0 to 10, I'd say the intrusive thoughts I have today are just intrusive worries. They're not all. Sometimes intrusive thoughts, I think, can just be worrying way too much about stuff you can't control. And so, worrying about my meeting with the attorney, worrying about what all these neighbors and stuff think about what's going on, and impulses and urges, no. Coping skills used. I just probably breathe and exercise, and that'd be my coping skills I use. So I guess it's a pretty great day, really. Plan for the evening and tomorrow, finish this show up, go inside, start cooking dinner. Get ready for that. Maybe lay down. Didn't get good sleep, like I said, so I'm a little bit tired. I might lay down. But you guys need to take care of yourselves. I'll be back tomorrow with another bipolar mood journal, and hopefully you're on here to talk to me. Sometimes that helps. Keep the conversation going if I know what other people are wanting to talk about with as it relates to bipolar disorder or anything else, really. So don't hesitate to comment if you have an idea or something that you want to discuss. So with that being said, have an okay day. Be good to yourself.